This dude shit it in his hands and he placed it all over the house so that they blamed the dog, but they ended up putting down the dog because they thought the dog couldn't control himself. Oh, that's terrible. What the frick is up, everybody? Today I asked you guys to send me your deepest, darkest secrets that you're gonna take with you to the grave. It was interesting. Enjoy. Blah, blah, blah. Subscribe. Blah, blah, blah. One time I was at Walmart shopping, as people do, and before I left, I needed to take a massive shit. I mean, a real dumpy. And it was not solid. Oh no, it was Hershey squirts all over. Ah, I don't sit when I shit because it's disgusting. What is the? So like I assume you're squatting over it. That's hard to do, bro. So when I'm done cleaning my ass with the thinnest single ply toilet paper known to man, I turn around to throw it on the toilet and I see all the shitty toilet water ricochets on the side of the seat and the floor. And unlucky for me, there seemed to be something that a janitor needed to clean in there, but was waiting for me. So I expected to be embarrassed as hell when I left that bathroom, but then a miracle happened. As I was washing my hands, a man with a certain syndrome that goes down happened to walk in, and so you could already assume what I did. After a few minutes of waiting before leaving, I whispered to the janitor, "Hey, that guy in there is having a rough time," and I just walked away and never looked back. To this day, I wonder what happened to that innocent man who got framed for such a horrific crime. I hope you will accept me as a human being just going through a hard time. Wow, this man took this is so bad. This is so bad. Bro took a shit, exploded everywhere, and then blamed the guy with Down syndrome. Question, would you do the same? Would you do the same? Honestly, I wouldn't. Wanna know what I'd do? I would own up to it. I'd walk out. I'd be like, hey man, you get paid for this shit, right? Pun intended. A pure Sigma male would walk in and accept it. Would just walk out. Yeah, that's right. I shitted on the floor. Okay, next one. It was early in the morning before school many years ago. I was the first person in the house to wake up as usual. I went to eat an apple for some reason. Upon taking a bite, I discovered my apple was squishy. No! Because it wasn't part of my morning routine, I didn't want to alarm anyone that something was out of the ordinary by having an apple with only one bite out of it in the compost bin. Okay. So I decided the best course of action was to flush the apple down the toilet. There are so many other things you could. What's the? He didn't want to alarm anyone that something was out of the ordinary by having an apple with one bite out of it in the compost bin. So you flushed it down the toilet? I think your parents would understand. I don't know how I managed to do this, but I did. Oh, he actually did it. It fit down. It also somehow never caused an issue with our plumbing. I haven't told anyone about this predicament, and I feel no reason to, considering it hasn't caused an issue yet. I've never had an apple before breakfast ever again. Wow, what a story. Honestly, wholesome story. Bro, should have been banana. Oh, then you can shove it up your ass, right? I am sorry, father. I must confess my sins. Okay, son. Me and my friend, let's call him Josh, we both follow you on Instagram. Yeah, follow Instagram, thank you. And occasionally, when you post a story or a reel, we'll send it to each other. Around the time I was going to bed, I had trouble sleeping, so I figured, F it. I pulled up some inappropriate photos of rather beautiful women and started jacking off. Wow. Whilst schmacking off, my friend Josh sent— No! Where's this going? Whilst jacking off, my friend Josh sent me your LGBTQ vibes posts. What? Where I said it's kind of gay. Oh, where's this going? My phone was propped up against a blanket and it fell while I was jacking off and it hit my elbow, clicking on the message notification. So I found myself schmeeding off to the one and only Jewboi. No, I'm sorry you had to go through that. I couldn't change what I was playing on my phone, so I just kept going on as you were playing on screen. Eventually, okay, no, that's not true. No, not true. That's not true. Like, you had me for a second. Like, it could have been like, oh, I was in the middle of it, and then your face appeared right when it was happening. But then you're like, my phone fell on the ground, and your face was the only one on there, so I just had to finish until I finished on you. That's your story. What does one say to that? Still in a car. Accidentally. Okay, I'm gonna pause you right there. Accidentally. So my friend asked me to pull his car round to the front gate of school while he just grabbed one more thing from his locker. I catch him just as he's coming out the building and decide to go shotgun. He gets in the car, proceeds to start driving to his house. About 3 miles of the journey, he checks the mirror and notices a thankfully empty baby carrier. This prompts him to say, Jacob, I don't think this is my car. In the most panicked voice I've heard, I told him to turn the car around and head back to school. By the time we got back there were police officers talking to various people. However, he explained the situation to both them and the victim, and she decided to not press charges. It also led to a funny story point, which led to me becoming friends with her, and the driver ended up dating her. They're nearing 3 years and she's expecting. Oh, so wholesome. Now that's cap. I don't know. How did bro have the key to the car? Well, here it could be those cars where the key has to be nearby and you just have to click the button. Reddit moment. That honestly, that is probably that. You're right. Actually, that probably is cap. Yeah. I shit myself at the Grand Canyon. When I was 11, my family decided to visit the Grand Canyon. It was in November, so no one was really there. Turns out that when you first go there, you can get really bad altitude sickness. True. We decided to hike down the canyon, and about halfway to the halfway point where there are porta potties, I really needed to shit. I told my dad and he said, we'll get there. I told him that I needed to shit like now. He didn't know what to do, so I just shit my pants right then and there. Sure enough, it was pure liquid that exited from my asshole, and unfortunately, I was wearing jeans, so I walked up back to the hotel room from the canyon, waddling like a penguin, stinky to high hell like a small animal died in my pants multiple years ago. Oh, why could he just shit on the ground? Like, I just shit on the ground. All these are shit stories. What's with people and shitting? Want to hear a funny story, actually? Basically, we're at an auditorium for my sister's graduation. An 8th grade graduation. It's nothing. I really needed to pee. How old was I? 9? The auditorium was full and it was silent. If you wanted to leave the room to go to the bathroom, it would make the most biggest scene. It would be interrupting like a few hundred people at once. But I really had to pee, so, I pissed my pants. Felt good, not gonna lie. My grandfather's there, he's like, what's that smell? And I'm like, I don't know. This seems so fake just by the emojis. We're gonna read it. I think it'll be satire, it'll be good. When I was a little boy, I was at a family gathering, stuffing my face full of fluffy mashed potatoes and sweet freaking cranberry sauce, when all of a sudden, I started feeling uneasy. And at that moment, I knew something was about to go down. I stood frozen. When out of nowhere, my uncle appeared. I watched in the horror as he blanked me in places I didn't even know existed. It felt like hours, even days had flown by before he finally released me from the grass. I dropped down to the floor, weeping as my mom rushed in to ask what was going on, but all I could say was, geez, nuts in your face. Anyways, that's the story of how I met my husband. Great story. You can't joke about that shit. We see each other again and start talking and drinking together. About 15 minutes later, after tens of shots, we go somewhere private to start making out. Not halal. And by the end of the party, I went back to her house and one thing led to another. Well, you started playing like Bakuguns with each other? I wish I could do that with a woman. Anyways, I woke up in the morning and it was the principal of my colleague's daughter and I got suspended for 4 weeks. Ah! He saw me sneak out the front door. Oh shit. You still hit and that's what matters. Bro still hit. W's in the chat. Who has shat themselves and remembers it? I don't care if you barely remember it. Have any of you guys shat yourself and remembered it? I have. I was shitting myself and I was playing with these toys. And then then I look at my photo album, one of the photo albums in our house, and it's me playing with the toys. I'm like, I'm shitting myself in that picture. And you caught it on display. Oh, no one else, just me. Okay. One time at my brother's baseball game, I had to shit. Why is everyone shitting? At my brother's baseball game, I had to shit really bad. Spent some time worrying and came to the conclusion that my only option was the porta potty. Okay, that's fine. I went to shit, I opened the door, and there was piss all over the seat. So obviously I could have put my ass on it. Well, why couldn't you take toilet paper and rub it? You see, like, okay, there's no genius solutions here. We have to do the hard way. So my genius solution was to basically do a wall sit, but without the wall over the hole. So squatting and not make any contact. I shat and missed. And then it landed right in the seat. There was no toilet paper. You always check for toilet paper. Always check for toilet paper. Ashamed, I walled out and then remembered something. The building that holds equipment has a bathroom. You were in a field with your family like 8 years ago and you had to shit, so you did it under a bridge and everyone found it like 5 minutes later. I'm gonna tell you guys a funny story. I went to Ukraine last year. We were touring it. Yeah, before the war. I was on a bus with one of my friends. I'm gonna call him Sam. Me and Sam. We're literally living on this big bus. One of the nights, we were eating dinner and there's pizza. You know, pizza could really go down in your stomach sometimes. So I didn't eat it because I knew that night we're gonna go on a 10-hour bus ride to the next place that we're touring. My friend's like, oh, I'm so hungry, I'm gonna eat all this pizza. And, like, we were on the bus waiting to leave at that point. He's like, oh, I'm gonna eat this pizza. I'm like, bro, if you eat that pizza, you're gonna need a shit. And there's no bathroom on the bus. And there's gonna be no bathroom for the next, like we're talking driving in the middle of freaking nowhere. I told my friend, I was like, bro, if you eat that pizza, you're gonna need a shit. And I'm next to you. It's gonna happen and I'm gonna rub it in when it needs to happen. He's like, nah, bro, I'm good. He's Mexican. We start driving. 30 minutes later, he looks at me and he looks at me, he's like this. I'm like, God freaking damn it. I'm like, do you? And he's like, yeah, I need to. And I'm like, bro, we're in the middle of nowhere. And he's like, I need to do it, man. I'm like, I guess tell the bus driver. We tell the bus driver. He's like, well, there's not much we can really do. There's no bathroom stop for it. It's Ukraine, bro. It's like third world country. So he does the most reasonable thing, and I'll forever respect this. By the way, there's snow everywhere. He goes out of the bus and he shits on the side of the road. He shits in the snow and he goes back on the bus. Everyone on the bus starts clapping. We're like, yeah, wow, this is crazy. I'm like, dude, I respect you for that. I told you so, but I respect you for that. Yeah, I'm still friends with him. Another 10 minutes goes by. He looks at me like this. I'm like, what? And he's like, I need to go again. I'm like, no, you don't have to go again. He's like, I do. And it's as bad as before. I'm like, no. We had to tell the guy, like, we need to stop over again. He shits on the side of the road again in literally 0 degree, like that type of weather. And he gets back on the bus and we continue on our merry way. In that story, I have so much respect for that man. It was the Sabbath and it was raining outside. After prayer services, we usually go outside to play basketball and goof off. But no, the weather had another plan. Me and my fellow pubescent teenage boys were sitting around. Then I, the absolute sigma male of the pack, decided to stand up and start twerking. Why? Okay, everyone was in shock. Then, one by one, the boys started twerking with... What is this? One boy twerked so hard his yarmulke fell off. Then one of the rabbis walked in and immediately left the room. Left the room as quickly as he entered. Unfortunately, that was when our twerking ended. No, I believe that. I believe that so much. Oh, I have another story I need to tell you guys. I was in 4th grade. I had a teacher. The teacher's a germaphobe. So he did not like when you go to the bathroom during class because he's like, you know, little kids, they don't wash their hands. He'd let you go to the water fountain. He wouldn't let you go to the bathroom. Crazy man. I really had to piss during class and I raised my hand. I said, Mr. Teacher, can I please take a piss? He said, no, you can't take a piss. I'm like, okay. I wait a few minutes and I say, Mr. Teacher, I'm awfully parched. I could really use some water. I'm really thirsty. Can you let me get a drink of water? And he said, okay, but you do know it's very quick to get a drink of water. It really shouldn't take you that long. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. It shouldn't take me that long to get a drink of water. I go to the water fountain down the hall because I'm like, this guy is on my case. He's not letting me get away with anything. I see a garbage can and I'm like, oh, a garbage can. Doing my business. Another teacher walks from the corner. Oh shit! Lift myself up, roll it up, and I bolt. I still don't know if the teacher saw me. She wasn't really. She's like a substitute, so I didn't really know her. And I bolt out of there. I like cover my face, and I assume she didn't see me. I only got half the piss done, which sucks. You know when you stop in the middle, like hurts. And I went back and I just manned it up to the end. The next day, I go to the first class of the day, and my main teacher wasn't there because she was sick. And who was it? It was that teacher, the substitute teacher. She was my teacher the next day. She looked at me. It didn't look like she knew it was me. It didn't look like that, so I assume I got away with it. When I was 6, I had a neighbor around my age and we were good friends. One day, me and him decided to see what sex is like. No, we're not. Nah. A girl I was with had a thing for people licking her feet. And we are off to a wonderful start. I don't care for feet, but it was a big turn on for her. So she insisted when making out that I'd suck her toes. This girl's so hot that I was too down bad and did things with her and her feet that are so grim that I would take it to my grave, such as having me suck them, schmum on them before feeding it to her on her own feet. Okay, we're done with guys, if it's a 10 out of 10 girl, would you do that? Listen, hey, wait. If it is a 10 out of 10 girl, would you do that? What would you do for your partner? Stop, no, I'm normal. This is Curly Daddy. Oh shit, I blinded a child playing dodgeball when I was in Boy Scouts. We were playing with regular balls. We should just stop it there. We were playing with regular balls. We were playing with regular balls, but then he started throwing footballs or anything else in the ballroom. I threw a wiggle ball and it was a direct hit in the kid's face. He showed up to the school the next day with an eye patch, partially blind. I don't regret it. What? I knew a kid that got shot in the eye with a Nerf dart, and now he's blind in one eye. This is a friend's story. He came over to a friend's house. They had fun and whatnot. They went to sleep soon. They woke up to find one of the friends taking pictures of their feet, like individual toes. He claimed it was a joke, and he took like a lot of pictures. Didn't seem much like a joke to me. Imagine you just like waking up and you just see someone like, no, it's a joke. It's a joke. It's just... Nice. I, on several occasions, successfully stole woman's underwear and bra. You're admitting to a crime. Not to wear, okay, we're not creepy, but to turn it into some sort of cuddling pillow with an elongated pillow. I have since lacked any actual physical contact and emotional relationship in my life. I sometimes sleep with it and cry myself to sleep. What does this even mean? I once knocked a kid out with one punch and I started crying because I thought I killed him, but I found out that I have the cool ability to change people's personalities. Let's go. Because he went from an asshole bully to a very nice guy. Wow. W story, guys. W's in chat literally right now. One time when I was 5, me and my friend and my brother were playing at my house. My brother was being mean to me, so I wanted to hit him. I grabbed the belt, swung at him, but the buckle struck his head. I busted his head open. Whoopsie! Whoopsie! My bad. No, it was a joke. It was a joke. One of my jokes. This is good, but it's a period story. Period story. Whoa, woman watched Jewboi. How crazy. My brother and I were sharing bunks, and I was the top bunk. I thought I was off my period, but I wasn't. I woke up with a lake of blood and it was dripping from the bed. I saw that it was dripping in my brother. I'm still embarrassed. Oh, God! One time, me and my friend shit it in a bag and threw it out my neighbor's window. Now, that's something I do. I once robbed a person. They never knew, and no one has found out since they had like 300 bucks on them and threw their cards away and kept everything else. So you robbed someone. You robbed people. It's against the law.